What's up, Church Media Pros? Today I want to talk about Dante and virtual audio routing. Stick around. Welcome back to Church Media Pro. My name is Aaron Warden. On this channel we talk about all things church media production and advertising. And today we're talking about Dante virtual sound card, virtual audio routing throughout your church, throughout your venues in your church, and why it's so important these days to get away from regular snakes and get into the virtual snake and audio routing world with Dante in particular. So I got into Dante probably almost 10 years ago. One of our I was working with digital consoles for corporate gigs, using all Yamaha, using CL5s and Rios, and getting my sound through the Ethernet system. And that's all I was doing. I was just using it through the digital, the IO at the Rio at front of house, just getting it to the soundboard. And that's all I thought it was. I thought it was just a digital snake solution at the time, but I didn't realize that there was so much else you could do with it. In fact, it's come a long way in 10 years. Now I use it on a daily basis, or at least on a weekly basis, through we use it from our digital snake to our front of house console, to our recording rig. The recording rig also gets inputs from the digital snake to go into to our auto tune that goes to both our in-room to tune the vocals in the room, as well as goes up to our X32 that we have for our live stream sound. And live stream sound gets all of those channels as well, not just the tune vocals from our Pro Tools rig, but also from the digital snake to go to our campuses as well. So there's so much more involved these days, and if you're not using Dante, you're severely missing out, because you're running cables like crazy and you're trying to adapt things and change directions and where they're going, and it's so much easier, though it can be very technical at first. When you look at Dante virtual sound card, it can be very daunting, but it is fantastic to use. So I just want to go through what I'm using here, guys. So in general, the best way to get Dante in and out is to get into something that has Dante built in. So one of the things that we use is the Rio, the RIO rather, from Yamaha, the rack series, the R series IO racks. We have the 3224, getting a digital snake essentially, right? We also use a TO just to have some extra ins and outs. It's the cheaper option. The T series goes with the TF5. We use the CL5 at front of house. We have a fantastic mixing board. Got it on sale big time. It was a refurbished board from a theater actually that got vandalized, and the only vandalized part of the console was some spray paint on it, and so it was refurbished. It was one of those insurance claims. Got it refurbished, and has been working for us for the last 5 years fantastically. But I digress. One of the other things I wanted to jump into as well that we use this for, and that's Dante enabled, is our Shure wireless microphones. So the ULXD, I think it's the Q to the 4Q, this guy right here, and I'll link to all this stuff in the description below. But this guy is Dante enabled too. Gives us 4 channels of direct. We don't have to use channels on our digital snake that way. We just link this via the Ethernet on the back end of this. We can daisy chain them. We actually have 2 of these, so we have 8 handheld vocal mics that run through the ULXD4Qs into the Dante enabled R series and T series Yamaha racks that also are daisy chained to our console. And then we have a switch at our front of house that also integrates our Pro Tools rig that's running off of a Mac Pro, an older Mac Pro, the trash can. And then we also have a Ethernet cable running up to our X32, and then the X32 could be Dante enabled with the XDante card. And then all of these are seen on our network. So the computer that that Mac Pro trash can at front of house has virtual sound card, Dante virtual sound card installed on it, and it gives us all of the ins and outs. And so if you check out the software, so Dante Control and virtual sound card are great. Virtual sound card is fantastic for running ins and outs on your computers, and then the control is actually what you use to get the routing correctly. And one of the things I wanted to show you actually isn't on this computer, so I'm not going to do it, but one of the things to know when you're installing and using Dante controller is the routing is very particular. And there on the top there you have your transmitters, and on the side you have your receivers, and just knowing that will help you significantly. So you're transmitting from, there's a matrix essentially up and down, and you're transmitting from the top row, and you're receiving at the on the x-axis, if you will. So or the left side is receiving from what's coming up vertical. So we use this, like I said, from our digital snake to our front of house mixer to our Pro Tools rig to do any sort of effects and auto tuning, and then also recording. You can multi-track with this as well with Dante Virtual Sound Card. Now, there's another thing that's really cool, and that I wanted to mention in the software tab here, is that you can also use Dante Via, and this enables you to take anything with a USB, you know, like as a you know, if you have a Scarlett or some sort of other digital I/O device, and turn it into a Dante enabled I/O situation. So we could take our Scarlett that's running tracks from our Ableton computer. We use Sunday Sounds on our keyboard. We could run those sounds through our Scarlett at the keyboard rig and use those as Dante enabled inputs as well. And that would be all we'd have to do. Instead of running an XLR out of the Scarlett, we could actually run Ethernet out of either the Ableton Live or the computer that's running our keyboard software, and use those as Dante enabled inputs too. So there's so many things that you can do with Dante. You can route audio to different places in your building if you wanted to. If you had a Dante enabled you know, output device like a TO, you could actually run you know, your 70 volt systems off of that as well. Instead of running, you know, hundreds of feet of cable, you could run one specific you know, Ethernet cable and get multiple outputs at a different location even. And it's just a fantastic way to distribute audio throughout your building, or multiple buildings if you needed to, over you know, an Ethernet. Like we actually beam internet from our main campus to an office building across, you know, blocks away, and if you're on the same network, you could actually send audio that way as well, which would be an amazing way to use Dante. But so if you're not using Dante, guys, I highly recommend it. Again, check out you know, if you're on the X32, the way to do it is to get the XDante card. If you're, check out the Audinate website, is where you get all the different Dante enabled products. I mean, it's from everything from Alan Heath to Digico to Pro Tools systems from and then Yamaha obviously as well, and a lot of things in between. And then again, Dante Via, and make anything that's already a USB I/O device, basically control Dante with the computer and use those inputs as Dante enabled inputs. It's fantastic, guys. So with that, if you have any questions, let me know below in the comments, and I hope you got some value out of this, because it was a little bit scattered, guys. I apologize for that. But thank you so much for watching. If you're not using Dante, I highly recommend it. If you like coffee and you like church production, head over to friedrichscoffee.com. Get yourself a 12-ounce bag of roasted to order, fresh specialty coffee out from them. They're a fantastic company. They're local. They actually go to our church, the owners do, and I get support from them if you buy coffee. So if you like the content here, guys, go over there, buy some coffee. It blesses them, it blesses me, and it will bless you with some fantastic coffee. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and God bless.